Hello children, welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter of history, that is the age of industrialization. This is the fifth chapter of your textbook. So what is industrialization? Industrialization is the process through which the goods are produced in big factories with the help of machines, and the production also takes place in a large scale. So before we start this topic, let me discuss the two pictures which are given in your textbook, because the explanation we are going to do, these two pictures are also important. You may get an objective questions from there. The first picture, I hope you all are with your book. Kindly go through the two pictures in the first page and in the next page. The first pic is the cover page of a music book, and it is published by E.T. Paul. The name of the book is The Dawn of the Century. Now, you can see these two books. Why we are all of a sudden started going through these two books? Because of industrial revolution is a new change in the lives of the people. So, whenever there is something new, it has a great impact in the minds of the people. So it is same thing here also. We can see there is a great impact among the people in their social and economic life. Many people started thinking and imagining about their life in this age of industries, or in the industrial revolution will completely change their life. So these two pictures, the first one which I already started telling you, that is the picture is cover page of a music book published by E.T. Paul. The question may come as an objective question. Dawn of the century. What is dawn of the century? Beginning of a new era. At the center of the picture is a goddess-like figure, and the angel of progress bearing the flag of the new century. She is standing on a wheel and with the wings symbolizing time. Behind her, the signs of progress, all the modern machineries you can see, railway lines, railways, cameras, machines, factories, printing press, etc., etc. So she is symbolizing the time and great change in man's life because of industrial revolution. Now you turn the page and you will find another picture, and this time we can see at the top two magicians. Now at the top you will find it is a picture of Alauddin. One at the top is Alauddin and representing Orient, past. That is, who built beautiful palace with his magic lamp. So you all have heard about Alauddin, that Alauddin ka Chirag, and all magical with his magical lamp. He used to show the things and that people could not even imagine. But the first picture, bottom is the top is about Alauddin and representing Orient, but at the bottom you can see it is being said that all these what Alauddin could do with his magic lamp, now it is possible with the help of modern machines. So bottom is the modern machines, modern technology. It is the magic which has made possible to build bridges, factories, ships, town, buildings, etc. So the prosperity and progress of a person, of a society, is totally based on the power of modern technology. Now, after studying these two topics you must cover up. So here we have seen that we are no longer living in the world of magical power, but which has become reality in today's world. So the topic starts with before the age of industrial revolution. This chapter, children, we are going to divide it into two parts. The first one, we were talking about the industrial revolution in Britain, the European countries. In the second part, we will discuss about industrial revolution in India. So before the age of industrial revolution, now that period is also called as proto-industrial period. Now here again a question may come, what are the features of proto-industrial period? So right now I am going to discuss the features only. Proto-industrial period is that phase of industrial revolution. It is before industrial revolution, when the goods were produced in large scale in order to meet the demands of international market. There was a huge demand for goods, and the production also was taking place in large scale, but in a domestic system, not with the help of factories. This was not based on factories. So this period of, or this phase of industrialization is called as proto-industrial period. Now what happened in the 17th and the 18th century? Merchants from the towns in Europe, the big merchants, they had enough money. When they heard that there was huge demand for their goods in the international market, they thought of investing their money for larger production. But living in the town, they could not think of produce their goods, because in the towns there was strong guild system. They were looking for some workers and they were also not available. So because there was a guild system which was going on in the towns, cities. Now there is again a question, what was guild system? Now guild system was, there was association of workers who were professional people, professional in different field. There were crafts guild, trade, then weavers, carpenters. They had their own guild, their own association, and they got the monopoly right from the rulers. They were so strong, they never allowed any new people to enter in their work, in their profession. And these associations of producers, they trained the craftspeople of their group, maintained control over the production, regulated the competition and prices, and restricted the entry of new people in their profession, in their guild. So rulers granted them all rights to these people, that is of guild. So they got the monopoly right to trade. Now these merchants were very helpless. So they came to know that there were large scale workers, the laborers, the peasants in the countryside who were looking for some work. Now why these people, in the countryside, there were workers, there were farmers, small farmers are looking for work. What is the reason? There is another reason, because the enclosure movement started in European countries. Government started taking up all the open fields. Previously, these peasants, farmers were cultivating the lands, that is the open fields where they used to do agriculture. That was also a grazing grounds for their animals. But after the enclosure movement, the open fields started decreasing. So these people were also looking for some work. Now these merchants, they went to the village and this countryside, and they offered advance money to these farmers, those who had small patch of land, and they accepted these money and they agreed to work for the big merchants. This is also, these are the features of proto-industrial period, how the production was going on. Now in the village, remaining in village only, they used to work for the big merchants and with the help of their family members. So they could now, it supplemented their income, and now they could use their family labor. So these people started working for the merchants. Now the work was being done in a scattered manner, not in one place, because weaving, dyeing, and then spinning, everything was being done in different places, and then the work was not assembled in one area. So this is also a feature of the proto-industrial period. And finally, the merchant used to come and collect the materials, and they used to take it to London, the finishing center, where these export merchants used to export their products and started earning huge money, profit. So this proto-industrial system was thus part of a network of commercial exchanges. And commercial exchanges means, just now I have explained the process, how these merchants went to the town and they had a contact with the farmers and the laborers, and they made them offered money to work for them. So this is how the commercial thing was going on, commercial exchange. And this way a close connection started between the town and the town and the village, countryside and the village. Now the few more features, children, I'll explain it in my next